My main thing with this episode,
Uh-huh.
I wish I liked it.
Oh,
You didn't like it? I actually kind of liked it.
I like this one.
I mean, I like it on
Okay.
like a plot level. I'm like, this is cool,
Yeah,
this is good, fun
Yeah.
things are happening. I don't like it for like every other reason. Hey, hi, hello everyone, and welcome to Afterbite. It's a Vampire Diaries fancast. It's only 10 years too late. We're back this week with episode 313, Bringing Out the Dead.
Good title.
A dramatic title. A very good title. This is one of those titles that I'm like, yeah, this is a vampire show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Most
is a vampire
definitely.
show title.
They're leaning into it very heavily.
And it works,
Yeah.
thankfully. This is a pretty good episode, and the Netflix description for this episode is Sheriff Forbes delivers disturbing news to Alaric and Elena about a recent murder weapon, and Caroline is heartbroken when she's unable to stop a tragedy.
Oof.
So there's a lot going on here. There is a lot. By any measurement that you can find, there is a lot going on this episode.
And the thing is, I think we're up on we're in one of those ups, I guess, in terms of like thank you for getting things done in an episode, because this happens in the next episode as well. There's like we're just like they're like not wasting any time, and I
We are
applaud
burning
them for
through
that.
this plot, and I'm so psyched.
Thank you for that, because when again, the Vampire Diaries is either as like the slowest thing imaginable, and you're like, when is something going to happen? Or oh my gosh, 10 things just happened at once. I'm panicking now.
Everything happens so much, and I'm just so tired. So this week, we pick up right where we left off last week at Klaus's mansion with Elijah standing there, and he beats the shit out of Klaus.
That's perfect.
Yes.
As he deserves.
I love how Klaus is like fighting with Elijah, and he's like, stop ruining my new renovations. And it's like, it's like, yeah.
Listen, Klaus had a great show on HGTV for this mansion.
Yeah, he did.
Brian, we already made that joke.
I'm making it again.
Where is it now a gag?
Now it's a gag, I guess, instead of just a goof. Klaus has to catch Elijah up on what's been going on. Namely, that Michael's dead now, and all his family's here, but still daggered.
Mm-hmm.
So Elijah's like, listen, I can't be the only one awake. It's gonna take him a while to wake up. So and he just yanks the daggers out of their other brothers.
Perfect.
He's just like, let's get this show on the road. We have a schedule to keep. And by God, he's gonna fucking keep it.
He has to get a new hairdo.
He does, and it looks so much better this episode. It looks so much better already.
He has
Literally.
a hair appointment.
He's like, listen, I have a hair appointment at 3. It's already 2 o'clock. I'm gonna fight you, shower, and make it down there in time. So help me God.
I mean, he is a vampire. He has super speed. I think he can get it done.
You can do it.
I have faith in Elijah's 3 p.m. At the Gilbert household, Alaric's battling a hangover. Good job and being like a parental figure, my guy.
He's setting great examples.
He's setting a great example by also like drunk dialing Meredith at 2 a.m. Great example. He literally just like booty called her at 2 a.m.
Yeah,
I'm just like,
he's
just
a
good.
dummy.
She's probably like in the middle of a surgery, and she's like, "Bro, what the fuck?"
Do you think she brought her phone in the middle of a surgery?
Probably not.
I don't think that's sanitary.
Alaric is being a dumb idiot.
Shocking.
Not surprising. But honestly, as we always do say, because I feel like we always forget about it till the end. But
oh, right.
fuck Matt Davis.
Fuck Matt Davis.
Who's that? I only know Alaric Saltzman.
I only know Alaric Saltzman.
Yeah, I don't know who this Matt Davis is.
He sounds like the worst.
He is.
He sounds like an asshole.
Yeah.
The doorbell at the Gilbert household rings, and it is Sheriff Forbes.
This will end well.
I'm sure. She says a wild line that I. She says a wild line of like, I'm gonna have an unconventional conversation with y'all. Protect me on it. Which is like, hey, you're the police. You're the one in a position of power here, ma'am.
Again, Sheriff Forbes just bad at her job.
So bad at her job.
Just
But
like,
she.
why is she still in that position?
I don't know. She reveals that, she shows the stake to them, and she says that they only had one set of fingerprints on it, and that set of fingerprints belonged to Elena.
Well,
And I
there
was
we
like,
go.
huh?
Booker boys.
Booker. Just Booker immediately.
Put Elena in jail.
Handcuffs and all. Let's go, gang.
When she revealed this, I was like, so I know it's not Elena. So is it Catherine?
Ooh.
So
that's where my brain went.
theory.
Yeah.
Girl.
Because
I
like
didn't even think of that one.
because
But they do
it
have the
makes
same
sense.
fingerprints. Yeah.
They're
they do.
doppelgangers, so like it could have been Catherine. And I was just like, is she
Oh.
about to come back? That didn't happen, but
No, I'm gonna put the brakes on this train. No.
it's not happening. I like assume it's not happening, but I think that would have been a fun twist.
It would have. That's actually. I didn't even think about that. That's actually pretty smart.
Yeah, I didn't either. Jordan, you're
neither did
thinking
Julie
you're
Plec either.
smarter than TVD writers.
Oh my gosh, like not surprised, but thank you. It turns out when you spend too much time watching TV growing up, you learn the conventions of TV.
Yeah.
Wow, wild.
Wow.
So Elena calls Damon as she and Alaric investigate their secret stash of weapons. Damon wonders if Meredith's sort of the one who did it because she's, obviously the only one with a motive to kill Bad Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
I said Bad Brian. You're not Bad Brian.
Hey.
And so Elena wonders if maybe it was Stefan who killed them, and Alaric is wondering if it was Klaus who killed Bad Brian.
There's just a lot of finger pointing.
Elena also says the line that she refuses to believe that Alaric's luck with women is that tragic.
Which is so funny because she just read him to filth.
I was like,
the
Elena,
tea was scalding.
I was like, Elena, you have a huge storm incoming, okay? like
Elena, your love life's even any more better.
like let's not comment on Alaric's bad love life. That just doesn't end well ever. It's not gonna end well. Ever.
It's just
beware,
so funny to me.
Beware of the Alaric curse. You know what it screams to me? And this is not what the TBD writers intended at all. But it screams to me someone because it's like a curse of Alaric, but it screams to me of someone who just is bad with women, like a man that's bad with women. And
shocking.
And they're
yeah.
And they move on and on to next partners, and the previous partners are beware this person, they will not bring good things into your life.
They are bad juju.
That's what I know. That's not the intention, but that's definitely the execution.
Yeah. No, and you're 1000% correct there.
Yeah, Alaric just should not date women anymore.
Just stop.
He should just no.
Just
he
stop.
Doesn't ever have good luck.
No, they're.
It's
hard because it's just I want it because I know what happens to Meredith, obviously, and it's just it's the funniest thing in the entire world.
It's so fucking hilarious. This show is not intending it to be, but it is truly a comedy of errors.
Yeah.
It's truly a comedy of Alaric Saltzman having just the worst goddamn look in the world.
He really does.
He really does.
It's funny in multiple ways, right? Because it's funny because it's just sad that the people who are near him just die, you know. But also the fact that his first wife was so tied into this supernatural world and is the reason why he became a vampire hunter right? And that just curse never leaves him throughout this entire series. It's like it's sort of sad, but also hilarious at this point.
It's hysterical. So the whole time while they're talking, while Alaric and Elena are talking to Damon, he's like making his way through the forest because he's a nature scout now, I guess. And
Yeah.
he makes his way out into a field where he comes right in contact with Elijah, who now, very happy to report, has much better hair
Thank God.
already. This is after his 3 p.m. hair appointment. He has better hair. It looks like it doesn't look great, but it's so much better than what we started with.
Yeah. He went to Supercuts. Not sponsored.
It's just hysterical to me that like already like the bar was so low for his hair that now he just like doesn't have a center part anymore, and we're like, yes, King, get it. Like,
Yeah.
literally, he just got rid of his center part, and all of a sudden we're like, okay, yeah, love this. So, down in the tunnels, Stefan is leading Abby and Bonnie through those weird tunnels to that little kind of underground cave that vampires can't enter.
Mm-hmm.
And Abby and Bonnie get to work on trying to open this coffin one last time.
I'm
One
so
thing
sick of this damn coffin.
I am too.
One thing I will say that was like bad continuity wise is that it seemed like Bonnie's mom, Abby, that's her name, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
Abby.
It seemed like she was so resistant to helping Stefan. When like did she not just agree to do that last episode?
I think it's
I
more
mean, she
like
agreed to help Bonnie, not
yeah,
to help Stefan. I think
yeah.
Yeah,
that's
She,
sort of
but
she
where
like
that
agreed to
disconnect
help
is
Bonnie
happening.
more than Stefan.
I guess, but like Bonnie wants this. You know what I mean? Like I'm pretty sure Bonnie
Bonnie
has
does not want this. Bonnie is like, leave me the hell out of it.
I mean, she wants to get rid of Klaus, you
That's
know?
true. She does want to get rid of Klaus.
So like this is the way you get rid of Klaus. And I feel like Bonnie has already explained what was going on. You know what I mean? To
It's
Yeah.
me,
weird.
it doesn't make any sense why she's so resistant when this was
It's
the plan all along.
It's also not helping that Damon, Jesus Christ, that Stefan's kind of being a dick.
Yeah. I think it's mostly the fact that Stefan's a douchebag right now.
Yeah,
I guess.
and also remember that
guess.
witches and vampires kind of are like.
Yeah, no.
Eh.
The fact that witches and vampires are not friendly,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I just feel like there was really no she was just being so like I like she said I think she said I don't have any magic, and then oops sorry she said I don't have any magic, right?
Mhm.
And she also said Seven was like, well then you're gonna need to find her or something. There was like some conversation about how she doesn't have any magic, and then Stefan
Yeah.
doesn't believe her, and that to me read weird because like you just discussed the last episode about how you were going to help Bonnie, and if that was you trying to get your magic back again, then that's what you were going to do.
Mhm.
It's also Stefan, although Stefan, I think most of this is because Stefan is a dick right now. Because he
Yeah.
was like saying, he's like, hey, yeah, I know you don't have any magic, but you're going to have to fucking dig down deep and scrape some up, is the exact wording he uses, which is like wild to say, Stefan. So I feel like Stefan definitely 100% did not help this situation at all.
Yeah.
Because Stefan is still a very shitty boy right now.
He's
Correct.
mean boy Stefan.
Yes.
He's douchebag Stefan.
But
Let's
I
just
still
say it
love him,
what
though.
like it is.
Yeah, but I still love him.
Do we though? Because he's on thin
Yes.
fucking ice for me here.
He's on thin ice, but that ice is it's freezing.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely how ice works.
Elsa came in and was like, boo.
Come on, we're gonna get sued.
No, Elsa could be any person with magical frozen ice powers.
You gotta use like someone that's like less known as that type of I was gonna say
Frosty
another
the Snowman.
I was not gonna say Frosty. So I was gonna
Hey,
say
Frosty the Snowman is Creative Commons, dude. We can
we
use
can
fucking Frosty the
use them.
Snowman all we'd like.
I was gonna use
Julie
someone.
Plug, season 3 Christmas monster, Frosty the Snowman.
Stop.
Okay, but that would
That
be
would
really
be so
funny because he could just like put magic hats on people and turn them into snowmen. That'd be so fucking good.
That'd be so funny.
As Stefan is coming out of the tunnels, he comes face to face with Elena, who accuses him of killing Bad Brian, the medical examiner.
Mhm.
And Stefan's like, I didn't fucking do it. Ask Damon if he did it. Ask him if he's killed anybody recently. Which, you're correct.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good assumption. From the track record, that checks out.
In we go now to the Mystic Falls Hospital, where Meredith is meeting with Caroline as Caroline's like going to pick her dad up from the hospital, and Meredith is like, your dad's a fucking piece of work. He like threatened to get my medical license revoked
Which
4 times last night, which yeah, actually though, kind of fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You did feed him vampire blood without his permission. You can't do that to people and expect them to be okay with it.
But also, Mr. Forbes, let's have a conversation about consent.
Mm-hmm.
Let's have a long talk, Mr.
Yeah.
Forbes, and let me describe to you why you of all people can't be fucking mad about that.
That's hypocritical, very hypocritical.
Meredith reveals that she knows that Caroline is a vampire. She says that she makes it her business to know who in this town is vampires and just calls it, quote unquote, medical curiosity.
It's just very creepy.
That's
scary.
not what medical curiosity is. Most of the times you hear medical curiosity used, it's in the context of like doctors prescribing cocaine to solve illness. And it's like, y'all shouldn't. Let's just agree here that medical curiosity is usually bad. Caroline and Elena are chatting at the hospital while Caroline calls Bill because he never called her to say that he was getting let out of the hospital.
Yeah.
And as she calls him, she, with her vampire hearing, hears his phone ringing somewhere.
Oh, he's just in the bathroom. It's fine.
Probably.
Yeah.
So they walk through the hospital following the sound of his phone ringing, and they open the door to like a storage closet.
It becomes
Yeah,
a
it's like
tiny horror
the
movie.
vampire storage closet. Jesus Christ. The medical storage closet.
Yeah. And it does, Jordan, you are correct, become a tiny horror movie at this point. It's very good.
Mm-hmm.
These 2 episodes have some really good horror moments that I really like. So
Yeah.
They very slowly walk through this creepy storage closet, and they find Bill stabbed in the stomach and dead.
It's
Oh,
not
also
only
throat slit,
his
too.
Yeah, I was about to say that. It's not only that he's stabbed in the stomach, his throat is slit.
Yikes, gang.
It's very violent death.
Zoinks.
Motherfucking jinkies, dude.
Which I'll bring this up after you reveal what happens.
So Bill has died with vampire blood in his system, and he wakes up in transition.
And it's, I don't know if he says an hour later, right? But he says at some point that he was trying to sneak out of there.
Yeah, he was like, I was trying to sneak out the back. Hey, dude, it's a fucking hospital. Just go out the front door, my guy.
But also, didn't Meredith just said she discharged him? So what's going on there?
Why are you trying to sneak, my guy? Like, you have the paperwork to leave.
Is she lying or are you lying? Are you making this a thing bigger than it was?
Or is he just trying to seem cool?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I'm the cool kid. I sneak out the back and get attacked by a random person I do not know.
Yeah. So Bill's in transition, which I'm sure is going to end well for everybody involved.
So good. It's going to end so well.
Can't wait for Vampire Bill.
Yeah.
Back in the tunnels, Bonnie and Abby are looking over a grimoire, and Abby is sort of like looking over the cave paintings that are in here, and Bonnie's, letting her know what's going on.
Yeah. Also kind of like low-key shading her mom at the same time.
Most
Absolutely.
definitely.
Which I loved.
As is deserved.
I loved Bonnie like reading her to filth. It's like, oh yeah, it's about a mom who wouldn't let her kids die, so she turned them into vampires.
Ooh.
It's
Would
about a
you do
mom
that
who
to
would do
me?
anything for her kids.
Ooh.
Would you do that for me, Mom?
Yeah.
Ooh.
She's like holding a gun. She's like, would you do that, Mom?
Would you do that for me? They find a sealing spell,
Yeah.
and they figure out that there is a blood knot on there that requires a certain bloodline. So if they manage to unbind the spell because they are two people of the same bloodline, maybe they can open the coffin. I
Which
hope you're
makes
ready to hear about bloodlines and family for the rest of your fucking life because this show uses it so goddamn often.
They really do.
I was a little bit confused by the logic of how that spell was going to work. It didn't
It's
make much sense to me when they explained it.
They basically, what they have to do is they have to reverse engineer the spell to unbind the spell,
mhm.
and at the same time they have to do it with two people of the same bloodline to undo the blood knot, basically. That's the
Oh,
simplest way to put it.
okay.
It's Bennett flex tape.
Okay.
Don't think too hard about it. It's Bennett flex tape.
That's why I was like, I guess I'll just go with it because it's supposed to make sense.
Yeah,
I
just
guess
go
I'll
with
just
it.
sit here and eat my food. Yeah. At the Salvatore house, Damon is telling his plan to Stefan, and his plan is that he, Klaus, Elijah, and Stefan are gonna sit down and have a nice fucking meal.
Finally, some good fucking food.
They're gonna have a good fucking chat if it's the last goddamn thing they do. Mainly, what this is doing is they're going to stall Klaus and Elijah for long enough so Abby and Bonnie can figure out how to open the coffin.
There's something about Ian's acting in this scene that's just so off. And I think it's his eyes.
It's always his eyes.
It's always his eyes.
His eyes are very weird.
It's always his eyes.
He just opens them up. Like,
so wide.
really wide.
As one person
So
does,
wide.
opens their eyes. Oh.
And like I think the reason why it's so emphasized in this episode is that he's acting against Paul. And Paul just serious.
He's acting against Paul and Daniel and Joseph, who are three of like very good actors, and it's Ian over here with his eyes open so goddamn wide, looking like dinner plates. He's like, this is acting.
But I think the reason why it's so heightened in this particular scene, right, is that it's one clip of Ian and his eyes just wide open while speaking, and then you go back to Paul and he's just actually acting, like his eyes are just like wide open, like you can see like minor facial expressions in his face that are like telling like of his feelings, and then Ian's just over here with his eyes open.
It's just we don't mean to rag on Ian so much, but it's goddamn fun when you do such weird things.
It's just not the best. And I'm sorry, but I have to call it when I see it. And in this particular scene, it's so clear.
Also, I mean, my standards were already the floor because this is a CW show, but
yeah,
sometimes we don't even manage to hit that, gang. At the hospital, Bill begins his transition while Caroline's trying to just like get him to calm down. And this is, I think, Jordan, I think this is where Bill says that he was trying to sneak out the back when somebody snuck up behind him and slit his fucking throat.
Guess Big Brain didn't have a big enough brain to actually go out the front door, but you know.
I guess. Megamind over here really fucking slacking, dude.
Such an idiot.
Caroline tries to get Bill to drink blood, but Bill refuses. He doesn't want to become a vampire, and he is totally chill and down to die.
Cool.
Which, I mean, fair. That's your choice.
Cool.
Yeah.
I think, even though I hate Bill so much, you know, with my whole heart, like, this man is the worst.
Absolutely the fucking worst.
Absolutely the worst. I think there is something about him saying that he wants to live like a human life. He like doesn't want immortality, and he's just like he's ready to die.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think it's one of the first times we've seen somebody on this show not choose to transition.
Yeah.
I think this is the first time that we've just seen somebody get brought back from the brink and then just die anyway.
And I think
Yeah, and
there's
they're just like,
something
yeah, you
to
know
say
what? I
about
don't want
that.
to do it. Yeah.
I think there's something to
There's
say about
something
that,
to be
about
said
the
about this, but I feel like Bill Forbes is not
is
the
the
person who
worst
should be
person to do
saying it.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
You know?
there's like this whole like idea about human life and like how you literally only have one of them. So like the idea of vampires existing and like you being able to have this immortal life is it kind of changes things a little bit. So like Bill choosing
Yeah.
to like say I'm actually don't want to I feel like there is some sort of I don't know what the word is for it. But like there is
Je ne sais
something
quoi.
like
Shut up, Brian.
no, like there's something like I guess greedy or prideful about wanting to like say, "Oh, I'm not ready to die yet, so I'm just gonna continue to live my life even at the expense of others." You know?
There's something selfish about it, I think, at
Yeah,
its sort of
something
like the
Yeah.
very
selfish.
core.
Yeah. So like choosing to die is like a selfless thing to do. It's like I'm ready to die, but also Bill's like the worst person to be saying it because I hate him so much.
Yeah,
And yeah,
there's
I am ready for him to die. So
I feel like if it was like Matt or somebody like that, like someone more like profound, this would
yeah,
really have been like a good like.
yeah, Matt would have been a
exactly.
great person to just
I don't want Matt Donovan to die, but
I
like if he did,
exactly that would be the
I'd be
good way
okay
to
with
do
it.
it, and to kind of like tackle that topic.
Yeah. If this is how they killed off Matt, I'd be 100% here for it.
Yeah, but no, it's Bill.
This is a
Yeah.
very good ending for a very shitty person, and like we
Yeah,
said, we'll get into it later, a bunch later. There is something very profound to be said here, but Bill Forbes should not be the one to say it.
he doesn't deserve it.
Yes.
He does not deserve this. So back at the Gilbert house, Alaric is taking inventory of the weapons as Elena brings home the knife that killed Bill. He's listing off a ton of places where he has weapons, like at his loft, at the Gilbert house, in Damon's car, in his car. Jesus Christ, my guy, how did you... Like, you make
You got
any
some here,
place
you
a
got some
fire
there.
hazard just by the pure amount of wooden stakes he brings in there. He makes any place a fire hazard.
He's
Makes
like,
me think, does
you
he have
always
stuff in
have
high
to be
school as well?
prepared. You have to be prepared for a
He has
vampire
stuff
to enter your
in high
life.
school. He has that one locker full at Mystic Falls High School.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He has like his special locker that doesn't have a lock on it.
So
Apparently.
anyone can get into it.
Exactly. So this leads Alaric to believe that Meredith is the killer, and Alaric says that he's going to get the dagger to police and that Elena should go be with Catherine. So Alaric takes the knife.
Not Catherine,
With Catherine?
Caroline. Who cares?
Catherine's not
they
here
did
yet.
this to themselves. They did this to themselves. They did this. There are so many white person names you could have chosen, and you chose Caroline Catherine for two of your main women. Shut up. Leave. Get out of here. Just stop. At Klaus's mansion, we finally see his mansion like completed. We've seen it, in stages here, but this is finally Klaus's HGTV dream home, and I'm so excited for him.
Y'all are.
Nice.
Klaus and Elijah welcome Stefan and Damon to dinner as they are going to talk about their truce, in air quotes, aka Stefan and Damon are going to stall them for a while Bonnie and Abby break open the casket.
Yeah.
Stefan is trying to piss off Klaus, but Damon and Elijah and Klaus are like bound and determined to have a good family fucking dinner. They swear to God.
Your dinner.
This is literally like when my mom would strong arm me and my dad into sitting down and having a family meal. She's like, we're gonna have a fucking family meal if it kills us all, gang. And she would just like strong arm your ass into the table. That's what this is.
This entire scene made me feel like there's so many men in this scene.
There's just so many men. And
I
it's
was
like,
just
I get it. Y'all are like treating the little waitresses as your little blood bags and whatever. But like, geez, gang.
It's just too much. It's too much.
For a show that really claims to be like feminist and everything, they really don't back that up with anything, huh?
Too many men in this one scene. I'm ready for less men. Also, it felt like a lot of toxic masculinity was in the room.
Shocking.
Oh, God,
You're
And I was
telling
have
me
you-
Jordan, you're telling me that Stefan Salvatore, Damon Salvatore, Klaus Michelson, and Elijah Michelson had too much masculinity for one room?
See,
No.
like Elijah, he was pretty good, you
He
know?
was fine. He
And
was
I
fine.
think
Elijah
that's
was
why I
like,
like Elijah. But the rest of the guys, y'all are annoying. I'm ready to leave this scene.
this is one big pissing
And
contest.
They also,
And-
I love how throughout all of these scenes with them, they get like a whole bunch of nothing done.
yeah. Oh no, but that's kind of the point,
Yeah.
right? Is they're trying to stall. So like I forgive them for getting nothing done. That just this once, I
Yeah.
forgive them.
Yeah.
But damn, do we stay in this fucking mansion scene for fucking ever?
Oh my gosh, that's so
Yeah, we do.
long.
We keep cutting back and forth and back and forth, and like Jesus, y'all, I'm on the world's most unfortunate fucking teeter totter, just going in and out of the scene. Good God. At Caroline's house, Caroline and Elena are sitting outside talking about Meredith and asking if she really did it. Elena doesn't want to believe that because she wants Alaric to be happy.
Aw.
And Caroline asks Elena that maybe Klaus had Tyler do it. Elena says that that wasn't Tyler's work.
Yeah.
Caroline really wants Bill to live, but, he's not going to. He's choosing to die a megamind. And she asks Elena for advice about what it was like when she lost her dad. And
This hurts.
This
it
hurt.
hurts. They have a heart-to-heart here, and I'm like, oh, babies.
I can actually say this, like, because I lost my dad when I was 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So losing a parent, worst thing in the entire fucking world. So like, but like hearing all of this being spoken into a TV show that I love, when like my entire life is like starting to change, and like I'm graduating high school, like when this episode's kind of like airing, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Ouch.
Mm.
Ouch, ouch,
Yeah.
ouch, ouch, ouch.
Yeah.
Because like I was like learning how to drive at that point. Like, what else was I doing? I got my first job.
There's
It
a
hurt.
line spoken like later on between Bonnie and her mom, which I really resonated with, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Aww.
I was like, "That hurts."
And
Why
plus,
is this show so bad, but also so healing at the
and
same
also
time?
like Elena like saying to her like it's gonna be okay. Like I've been through this. Like well, and she's like I'm here. Let's go. Like Elena like using her trauma to help her friends, and I love that. Her sadness.
It's also so sad, but also this whole thing with like Caroline wanting to forgive her dad, even though he doesn't deserve to be forgiven,
Yeah.
is something like I can kind of relate to that so much, you know?
Yeah.
Of like someone who's like clearly so toxic and bad in your life, but like there's still like this kind of piece of them that you want to kind of hold on to, and you don't want to let go of that, but at the same time, like I feel like personally the whole thing with like later on Caroline like eventually like I don't know somehow like forgiving and like tearing up for him, I don't know if that was necessarily the best take, but I can understand it, you know?
Yeah.
Of like
I'm not gonna fault Caroline for her feeling bad for her dad while he's on his deathbed.
yeah.
Like, my dad's a shitty dude. I still, like, there's a part of me that's like, yeah, that's my dad.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
a shitty guy.
Yeah.
You know?
And it's really weird when you have these like parental relationships that are just not good.
Yeah.
It's just so weird because like it's kind of like, oh, like I love you, you're my parents, you know, but also you suck.
Yeah. It's like, I know you're my family by blood, but goddamn, y'all, get your shit together. Matt also shows up at this point to
Oh my gosh,
support
that
Caroline, which was so sweet.
I was like, oh my gosh, Matt, I love you so much.
My boy.
He does a lot of good things these next few episodes.
Yeah.
I'm so glad they like kind of let him come back and have like an actual storyline of helping like his friends.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
good. It's so good.
We've come so far from when
feel like we
he
kind of-
drowned himself in a swimming pool.
Yeah. I kind of feel like
We've come so far.
It's like we all need a Caroline Forbes in our life too, but we also need a Matt Donovan too.
Yeah.
sometimes.
I just
Yeah.
need like a solid lad.
Yeah.
That's all we need.
I did not I think the best part about Matt showing up is that I didn't expect him to come. Like that was out of left field, but it felt so good and needed, you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
A lot of shit happens this ep, and it's wild, gang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elijah is getting filled in on all the drama that's happened while he's been daggered. He tells them about Tatya, the original Petrova doppelganger.
I was so angry they
Ooh.
didn't do a flashback.
They will
Oh,
eventually.
They will eventually. Do not worry.
Yeah, don't worry.
They could have done it right here, and it would have been so much better. But okay.
No, it's very good when it happens in the originals.
Yeah,
Don't worry.
Okay.
Jordan, I will tell you this: the payoff of not getting a flashback now is going to pay off so much better when you actually get it. Believe me.
Okay.
Trust us on this one.
Like, believe me, it was one of the best episodes.
So, she was a doppelganger who lived in, ye old Mystic Falls, and Elijah and Klaus both loved her. Their mother, though, the original witch, used her blood to aid in the spell of creating vampires, and even though they shared a love for Tatya, they, in the end, family won out, always and forever.
Yep.
And then you realize, wow.
That's a nice little parallel right there.
But also the family ties that just go on throughout this entire episode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, did you realize this entire episode's about family?
Hey, did you realize that this show's about family? Hey.
Yep.
Hey, did you realize? Hey. Hey, did you realize that,
Yeah.
Did you realize, like, all these broken familial relationships?
Bonnie and Abby are working on opening the coffin when Bonnie realizes that Abby isn't really trying all that hard. Which is such a wild thing to say to your mom. Just like, hey, can you actually try at all? Like, at all? And Abby says that the spirits are angry at her for leaving Bonnie, but like, yeah, no shit, Sherlock, you said that already. And Bonnie disagrees and says that it's Abby who's holding herself back.
Which is, true.
That is true. And Bonnie also reveals the heartbreaking piece of information that she used to pretend that Abby was dead because that was easier for her to cope with than, having her mom leave her.
That line broke me.
That line hurt, dude.
As someone who has a parent who has abandoned them, that hurt. Ow. Why'd y'all have to do that? Like, I love how they just hit three different types of relationships, and like, hey, if you've ever related to this, beware, you're gonna hurt this episode. Good luck.
They really say a lot about a lot of different parental relationships this episode. They are just hitting and hitting and hitting. Hey, everybody with parents probably got hurt at some point during one of these episodes because they are just swinging wildly with the bat around, and it hits, gang.
Who wrote this episode? I wonder. I want to know.
Hold on, I'll look up in a second.
Look it up, and what's their relationship with their parents like? Let me know.
Hey, how's your parents? Just like message them on Twitter. How's your parents?
Hey, we noticed you wrote some real heartbreaking episodes of the Vampire Diaries back in like 2010. Are you and your parents good?
Are you
in therapy? Are you good?
Oh my god.
Bonnie and Abby try again now that Abby's like actually getting her shit together. Now that Bonnie's really like kicked her ass into gear, they're getting this coffin open, and they try the spell again with more force. Candles explode, the ground shakes, and they use a really cool like angle where it's just a camera from the sky looking down on them, which I want to just point out here because they use that same shot a few different times in this episode and the next one, and I think they use it really well. So shout out to whatever like extra crane budget they got this episode. I really appreciate it. Anyway, the spell almost works. Bonnie can now like shake the coffin lid a little bit, but she can't open it fully. Yeah, she can jimmy it, but not off. Yeah, exactly. So Bonnie leaves to go and call Damon and let him know what's going on. And as she walks out of the tunnels, you see Abby looking after her. And then there's a click.
Yeah, so what I originally thought was gonna happen was that Abby was gonna leave. That's what I thought was gonna
Really?
happen, and then it clicked open because she's been so like resistant to everything so far.
Mm-hmm.
It would not surprise me when there's like a little like bit of like, oh, things are going well, she self-sabotages herself and leaves, you know.
Mhm.
So that's where I was expecting it to go in, and then I heard that click, and I was like, oh no, that's not what's gonna happen.
Okay.
And Abby sees what is inside of the coffin, and her eyes go like bug ass wide. They
Uh-huh.
go wide as hell.
Yep.
She doesn't like scream, but she does like the old silent horror movie thing where her mouth just opens and everything.
Uh-huh.
I just find it comical. So, at Klaus's mansion, Damon gets the message from Bonnie that their casket is almost open, and Elijah is ready to talk terms now that they've finally eaten their long ass meal, apparently.
That
They're
one was
finally
good.
ready to do business, gang. And Klaus will get his coffin back as long as the original family leaves Mystic Falls forever. Klaus doesn't want to take that deal, though, because he does need to keep Elena, because that's the thing that lets him make more hybrids.
Yeah.
And he asked the good question of which one of you guys is going to turn her into a vampire first or die because of your feud. Ouch.
Ooh.
And Klaus says that the worst thing for Elena Gilbert is you two.
Which is
I
not
loved it.
which is not necessarily wrong.
It's
I
absolutely not wrong.
No, it is the
So
because it also was mirrored. Because remember, in season 1, hi, we're doing a callback here. When Isabel, the lovely mother of the year, um,
Mm-hmm.
said to her, "As long as you have a Salvatore on each arm, you're doomed."
which
I
yeah.
mean, she's doomed.
Uh-huh.
She doomed.
She's not wrong.
She doomed.
She actually correct.
Yeah. Now she's a correct pile of ash. But anyway. She's just on the other side saying, I knew it!
She's feeling incredibly vindicated on the other side.
She finally found peace.
We go now to, I think, my favorite stretch of this episode,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
where Matt is bringing Elena home to the Gilbert house.
Yeah, this is good.
And it turns into a horror movie, and it's very good.
It's so good.
It really
So
is.
they walk into the house, and Elena tries to flip on the main light, and it doesn't turn on.
Which
Oh, no.
which come on, y'all. Y'all, you know what this town is like. You didn't get scared from the light not being on. You can't displace
They didn't pay the power
electricity.
bill.
You cannot
They didn't pay the
displace
power bill.
electricity.
Matt says the line of, the power must just be out.
Which no, it's
The
not.
power is never just out,
No,
Matthew.
it's not.
Matthew.
Y'all should have been questioning that from the moment it didn't turn on, because that's creepy. And you live in a
Yeah.
town of supernaturals.
And Elena and Matt make their way to the kitchen to find some flashlights, and Elena is just like, hey, I have some candles over there, let me try and find them. And what they find instead is a big old pile of blood.
Oh god.
Pile of blood? A puddle of blood.
They definitely did not get that at Yankee Candle.
They definitely did not.
No.
Also, I said pile of blood as though blood can like stack on top of itself and go up instead of
it's
just
thick
like
enough.
puddling, which is what it is.
I mean, it's thick enough.
No.
There is blood though everywhere in this house. It is goddamn lousy with blood. I don't know how they couldn't smell that when they walked in. Like,
yeah.
there is blood on the walls, on the ceiling,
There's-
on the floor,
There's
leading
blood
up the stairs.
There's blood handprints too, which is so good.
And Elena thought Alaric was just finger painting again.
I guess. They do, though. Here's the smart thing they do. They both grab a knife.
Which is so
I
smart.
love that.
Oh my
They're
gosh.
like,
yes.
okay.
Thank you, gang. You finally learned something. I'm so glad. So they arm themselves with knives and they head upstairs to find Alaric stabbed and bleeding out.
Oh no.
So Matt hustles to call 911. Good job, buddy.
Yeah.
And Alaric tells Elena that she has to kill him.
Yeah.
So that's fun. And
Uh-huh.
Elena realizes that because she's a doppelganger and she is, however vaguely, supernatural, the ring will bring him back.
Which, mind you, at this point, the ring has been very skeptical.
The ring has been sketchy at best, but
Yeah.
Elena still stabs Alaric and kills him.
She's like, if this works, great. If not, bye, Alaric.
Yeet! Stabs him. Like,
like,
bro!
here's what should have actually happened. They should have called 911. If 911 didn't, was like, if he was losing life and was about to die, then Elena should have been like, okay, we have to do it now, and then killed him. You know? But she
Yeah,
just
and then
immediately said, don't call 911. I guess I'll just kill
yeah,
him.
she just told Matt to hang up, and I'm like, they're probably gonna call back and be like, you good?
And the answer is that they're not good.
No.
Not at all.
Nope.
We cut back to Klaus's mansion, where Klaus is drinking from a waitress because you know how men are.
Yeah.
And Damon returns, wanting to hear Klaus's end of the bargain. Klaus offers Elena's happiness to live and marry a human and continue the Petrova bloodline, so in a few hundred years he'll have another doppelganger to make more hybrids. He says that as soon as he has, his big bad coffin back, he'll ensure Elena's safety for the rest of her natural life.
Which is kind of a good deal if you, like,
Yeah.
obviously,
If you really think about it, gang, that's good
like,
for her.
I'm like, Elena gets to live a normal human life, which she wants. Potentially marry Matt, which I would assume would happen.
Mm-hmm.
And they have pretty little blonde quarterback babies. Like,
But I will say,
sorry, you just made me think of a fucking baby just chucking a football. Just the football is bigger than the baby, and yet this baby is just going for it.
Elena's Matt's was like, yeah.
The little tiny baby with a football that's bigger than it, just fucking hugging it, dude.
And Matt still works at the grill for some reason.
oh God.
Yeah.
I was gonna say,
Small town life is so sad.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that in theory, yes, that's a good thing for Elena, but she would still be under I'm gonna say his name wrong. Klaus.
You always say it correctly until you stop
Yeah.
yourself.
I felt like I was gonna
every
do it
other
wrong.
time you said it this episode, which we've been recording for like an hour so far, you've said it correctly.
Well, here's the thing.
Except for when you psych yourself out.
Usually when I say it correctly, someone has said it before me. So I'm like, yes, I just heard it. That's how I say it.
Oh, okay.
And no one said it before me, so
We just gotta keep saying Klaus for the rest of this episode.
Just
Klaus,
chanting it. Klaus, 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 Klaus.
I was gonna
Continue, sorry.
I was gonna say, yes, that seems like a good deal, right? But in reality, Elena would have to be under Klaus's control, and like would just have to like, yeah, because like he's gonna want to keep her safe, right? But that means she probably won't be able to like live maybe certain parts of her life because he's like, that's too dangerous. I don't want you to die, and.
No, that's true. That's true. I didn't think about it that way.
And also,
Like Elena's about to go bungee jumping, and Klaus is like,
No.
and a future generation, another person is going to have to deal with that because she like, you know what I mean? Like, it won't only affect her life, but it would probably affect one of her like great grandchildren. So
true.
Yeah, it's the Petrova doppelgangers. How they work? It's every 500 years a new one pops up. So in 500 years, Klaus will get a new doppelganger, regardless.
And like, regardless.
Yeah, that's how the spell works, or however it works. I don't know.
I thought it was.
What if? Hey, hold up. Let me bring something to the table.
Yes.
Oh, the table is open.
The table is here. Let me put very gently and lay this gently on the table for you.
Mm-hmm.
What if down the line one of the Petrova bloodline is just like the only one left, and they're just super gay? What if they just don't actually have children?
Oh shit!
Would it take like any adopted children and just be like, all right, that's the bloodline now, gang? Like, what would happen if that bloodline just died out?
The normal doppelgangers.
God, Elena Gilbert, you should have been a lesbian. It would have solved a lot of your problems. I say this as a lesbian.
There's always time for college, Elena.
Yeah, hey, Elena, in college, your roommate is Haley Kiyoko. You had a very
You
big
had a
window
strong
there.
chance. Yeah.
You had a strong window. Yeah, I'm sorry to bust that for you, but Haley Kiyoko is in here in the Vampire Diaries, and it's very sad.
The oh god.
Yeah, don't worry about it for now, but just
Oh god.
we're not gonna circle
Why
back
is
around to
every
it until season 5.
Why is
You're
every
good.
character in this stupid every actor or whoever is in this stupid bad show?
Because it's a very good, stupid, bad show.
Yeah.
So Stefan goes to shake Klaus's hand, and he seems like he's accepting the deal, but really he rejects the deal. And Klaus takes Stefan's hand and puts it into the fireplace, just beginning to straight up burn him alive. And
that's smart.
I guess Damon agrees to go get the coffin, and Elijah will go with him. Klaus says that he'll hand over their family once Elijah completes his task. So that's fun.
Get that damn coffin, or otherwise you don't see anybody.
Don't trust this person who literally just betrayed you the last time you did something for him. Do not trust him.
We go now to the Forbes household, where, buckle up, kids, Caroline and Bill talk about happy memories of like when Caroline was in the dance team and when she was a cheerleader. Caroline tries to be helpful and is like offering to like call Bill's boyfriend Steven, which again I do have to say is the most goddamn confusing thing on this earth.
I forgot that Bill was gay for a
second.
second.
Exactly. You're like, oh yeah, right, he's gay. Right.
And his boyfriend's name is Steven, while one of the male leads of the show is named Stefan. Thanks for that, gang. He says that he doesn't believe in becoming a vampire and thinks that it's wrong to cheat death, and he is holding on to that to the very end. Which, hey Bill, shitty thing to say to your vampire kid.
Yeah. Who was smothered by a pillow by her friend's evil doppelganger. But anyway.
And Caroline wonders why he hates her so much, but Bill assures her that he doesn't. Which, hey Bill, I think you
remember what was going on?
Like literally a second ago? Yeah. Hey dude? Hey dude? Like, I get it. Here's the thing. Everybody's homophobic till they got a gay kid.
Yeah.
But you're still homophobic now that you got a gay kid. I don't think that changes anything here. Like, okay, this whole fucking the Vampire Diaries as a whole does this thing more so than the originals or more so than Legacies, where it really heavily leans on vampirism as like an analogy for homosexuality. And so that's why obviously we got that bad thing like the conversion therapy episode. We have lines in this episode where like Meredith says like, hey, how does it feel to have your dad hate the one thing that you can't change? It's buck wild here. And like, so the way that they're sticking to this is just
here's the thing, right? In older media, vampires and like the idea of homosexuality were deeply entwined with one another. Like that is just
no, it absolutely is.
Yeah, so like that's not the bad thing, you know? I don't think.
The way they're handling it is the bad thing.
Exactly.
The conversion therapy episode is the bad thing.
Exactly. Like, you guys could have done it any other way, and you decided to do it that way. And that sucks. That's bad. And also, it's wild that they're, like, deciding to handle it this way when, like, you could have, like, a gay character on your show.
Hey, they do have a gay character though. That's Bill Forbes. Come on.
Yeah,
like an actual like good representation of a gay character.
Like you don't want like Bill like I'm Bill, and you want like Bill.
Or not.
No,
even.
I want anybody who doesn't do conversion therapy on their vampire kid.
Yeah, exactly.
The bare minimum. I don't give a shit what they just the bar is the floor and Bill is under that.
Yeah.
So like the bar is so fucking low for like a good in air quotes gay rep on this show that Bill fucking Forbes, man who did vampire conversion therapy on his daughter, has tunneled his way under that bar. Most people can pass it without a fucking care in the world here. Though.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It's just
Season 7, here we come.
it's just like
Can we? Season 5.
Season 5, yeah, season 5.
it's just like it's bad.
It's bad.
It's bad.
And I mean, like we said, there is something to be said about, wanting to just live your normal life and die. Chill. Cool. Great. Love it. Bill Forbes is
Bad
not the
character.
character to be saying this.
Not the character you want saying that at all.
So Caroline, pleads with him to not die, and he assures her that even after everything that has happened to her, she is exactly who her mother and him wanted her to be.
Like, Bill, you could have said that like episodes ago when you were literally putting your daughter through conversion therapy to change who she was.
Yeah, Bill, this would have been a nice thing to know any other time.
And
yet,
any other time other than the time you were dying and you're saying your last words to your daughter.
He also tells her that parents aren't supposed to outlive their children, and that this is life, and this is what it means to be human.
I
and then he
hate
dies.
that Bill thing.
Which again,
he's not dead. He's not dead yet.
Well, he's about to be.
This is the last we see of him in this episode. So
this plot line would be it's so good, but if it wasn't Bill, it'd be so much better.
Yeah, but I will say though, without all the Bill of it all, the parent thing, of course, because I'm going to go back to that because ouch, trauma. Caroline saying, "Please don't leave me, Daddy." I actually had to pause writing these notes again because I refuse to watch this scene because it hurts me so much.
Yeah.
I sobbed, but like it was still just like a beautiful scene, and at first I loved it because at first I didn't really understand the undertones because I was a dumb teenager that was like, vampires and pretty girls, let's go. And now I realized I was more interested in the boys, so it's just like, hey, pretty boys. And also trauma, and also, oh shit, this shit hurts. But it just made you think a lot about like losing a parent and things like that. And it's of course it shows touching it before, but like seeing it be like kind of handled pretty well. But I just wish I wish it was a different character.
Yeah, most definitely. Like, I think this is a beautiful plotline. I think this is a beautiful thing to say, but they have to do it with Bill, and that sucks.
Yeah, but still, honestly, Candace acting. Mwah.
Candace is so good. She's just
so
good.
I just love how she can go from like being like how she can take Caroline from being a like peppy, go happy person, and then like 2 seconds later she's just breaking down crying. It just
yeah.
God damn it, Candace! I hate you, but I love you. Please come on to Legacies. I miss you.
I miss you so much, Candace. Please,
please, can you guest star on our podcast?
So we go back to Klaus's mansion, and Klaus has the realization that Stefan has given up.
Oof.
And then some dramatic shit happens.
Oh my fucking god! Oh my god!
I love it.
Okay, gang, get ready. Strap in for this one, gang, because Elijah returns saying that they have missed dessert.
Oh, Elijah and his manners.
With
I hope it's tiramisu.
With just the most dramatic magician-ass flourish. He flourishes a cloth off of a silver platter and reveals 2 more daggers.
Dun,
and he's like, we are doing this on my terms now. And then Cole and Finn, the Lost Michelson brothers, joined the party and attack Klaus.
It is wild.
And then Rebecca comes in, gang. She's back too, and she also kicks the shit out of Klaus.
I loved it.
It was so
it's
good.
Just so good.
So good. You don't expect it, and it's so good.
Like just that, like Klaus turning around going, Cole, and then also, fuck Nate Buzz. Fuck you, dude. I fucking hate you. You piece of Christian trash. Anyway, love you, Cole, though. Mwah.
Hey, the reason we're saying that is because he really is an asshole about a woman's right to choose. Wanted to
Mhm.
put that in there. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Christians, do your thing. Just like be chill with it. All right, continue.
Anyway, but like Klaus is like turning around and realizing all of his like actions have now finally caught up with him. Joseph Morgan, holy shit, the acting.
Joseph Morgan, you're so
Oh,
good this episode.
I hated. I'm going to fully admit I was a Klaus hater. I did not like Joseph Morgan. I was like, he doesn't belong in this show. Nah, I don't like him. No. Now I'm like, I'm as I'm rewatching this like for the 40th time probably. I have fully appreciated this man, and I'm like, I take back any mean thing I ever said about this man.
You know
You
what?
are
It makes
perfect.
sense because he's such a good villain. You're like, I hate you,
I know.
but like
Like I
that's just
understand, like
like
he's
just
probably a great
proved
guy.
how good he is.
Yeah.
Like I know, like Joseph Morgan in real life, probably the most down to earth, super sweet, awesome guy. But like, oh my
You're
god,
such a good villain.
you are such a good villain,
That's
and
always how it is,
anti-hero.
though. That's always how it is.
Yeah,
It's like the villains are always like played by just like the sweetest, most chill actors. Like Chris Wood too plays a fantastic villain and is just a super sweet guy.
They just know how to like tap into
They
that
just
thing,
know how to tap into that feral instinct.
and then they
yeah,
know how to tap into it, and then step away from it. You know,
yeah,
and that I think that's like just good acting. You know, being able to tap into things you may not personally experience or you may not actually act like, and just like do it very well, and then move away from it.
At the Gilbert house, Elena is still waiting for Alaric to wake up, and she tells Matt that she got the call that Bill Forbes is now dead. And
oh,
Oh,
she asks Matt to
oh,
stay with her for right now because she's scared to lose any more family.
oh my
oh,
gosh,
Mm,
fucking Elena.
pain!
so
Pain!
Why
much
does
pain.
Elena have to lose everyone she fucking cares about? Like when? Who decided this shit? I just need to have a chat.
Julie
But
Plec, we just want
Julie
to have a
Plec,
chat.
Julie Plec, I will gladly sit down and have tea with you and how you ruined my life with making me love the character Elena Gilbert and loving Nina Dobrev. I hate it, but I love it.
there's
I don't know if I should thank Julie Plec or like hate her for it. Like I don't even know anymore.
I mean, I can definitely lean towards the hate side due to the fact that all the female characters experience major trauma, and I'm annoyed at that.
Yeah,
So it's good, but also why are all the female characters experiencing so much trauma?
because pain.
Because pain.
Because art is pain.
Only if you're a woman, though.
Yeah, only if
Only
you're
if
a
you're a
That is
woman.
woman, art
important.
is pain.
I can say this. I went to art school. In the woods, Stefan and Damon are taking a little stroll, and Stefan says that, Damon did a good job for undaggering Elijah. And Stefan also wonders why Damon saved him, because if he had just left Stefan alone and Klaus had killed them, Damon would have had Elena all to himself. Both of the brothers say that they love Elena and leave it at that.
Which is
Yeah.
like, so Stefan has love now. What?
Stefan unlocked a new emotion, and it's love.
Just an achievement unlocked. Love.
It's like, when is the rest of his humanity returning now?
Apparently, it's making its way back.
Yeah.
So, look for that exciting return. Sheriff Forbes calls Elena and tells her that Meredith has an alibi and wasn't the one who attacked Alaric. She makes the point that it is the third member of the Founders Council to be attacked, and their prime suspect has just like an ironclad alibi of being in surgery for the last like 6 hours.
Yeah.
Who?
Alaric wakes up, bloodied but
Oh,
alive.
thank God for Elena. Who the fuck is this person going around killing people?
It's
I'm
a
like,
good fucking question.
I'm just so intrigued
That's Julie
at the
Plec.
I'm just like so intrigued at this point because I was so convinced it was Meredith. You
Mhm.
know, it's like, who else could it be? And I don't know. I don't know.
So we go down to the tunnels where the boys are taking a quick check on the Bennett ladies as they're trying to unlock the coffin. They find Bonnie knocked out. They also find the coffin open, and whatever was in it is gone.
Oh no.
Hey, what happened to Abby here? Was she just out of here?
No, she was
No,
in
she was on the floor.
she was on the
Okay, I didn't see her because I don't think I was paying that much attention. But okay, as long as she was
yeah,
there, we're good.
because Damon said like, "Oh yeah, I hear mom. She's still breathing. We're good." They just couldn't get in together because
Right,
they
right.
aren't allowed in.
Gotcha. So then we go to my favorite part of this episode, which is the end.
Quite honestly, the best part of this entire
So good.
episode.
So good. This might be my favorite moment in season 3. I'm going to be very honest with you.
Really?
Yeah. And I'll
Ooh,
tell
we
you
haven't
why.
gotten to mine yet.
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Klaus is pleading with his family, wanting them to stay with him in their new home, and Elijah reveals to him that they are leaving him. That Klaus will be alone always and forever now.
Oh,
Hard.
Oh.
that's
I do want to
such.
point something out with this.
Mm-hmm.
It's very hardcore and I do love it a lot. But also, they have all the Michelson siblings in a lineup from oldest to youngest. And you see Finn got daggered in like the fucking 16th century or some shit. Boy's wearing
Yeah.
a whack ass outfit with some greasy ass hair. You have Elijah who's back and looking spiffy. You have Rebecca who looks a little worse for wear because she did get daggered like a week ago.
Yeah.
And then you have Cole, who's just like wearing some old suit, but you can assume he got daggered sometime before Rebecca did, because he was already daggered in the 1920s. So he's just wearing like some old suit from like the 1800s or whatever. And I just love that difference of like their dressing and everything.
Good costume department.
So good the costuming, because like it was so funny for me to see Finn with like those dorky ass like puffy shoulders and shit as he's like beating the shit out of his little brother. It was just very comical to me, and I think that's why it's sort of like one of my favorite moments so far of season 3, because it's just like, we're leaving you. I look ridiculous in this puffy ass minstrel suit, but I'm gonna leave your ass here.
But also, like, it's such a good evil thing to do to Klaus. I did it right the first time.
Did it right the first time, yeah.
You did.
It's such a good thing to do it to Klaus, because like he doesn't want to be alone. That's the reason why he's creating all these hybrids, and that's the reason why partially I think he's been hesitant to let his family go. So like it's just such a good move. Like, yes.
Yeah.
It's so good. And then Klaus says that he will hunt them all down if they run, and Elijah says that will turn him into the one thing that he has always hated, their father.
Ooh.
Elijah just coming in with the swings. He's like, bam!
For his fucking neck, and Klaus deserved it for that one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he really did.
But then somebody new enters the fray. And it is none other than the original witch, Esther Michelson.
I remember watching this for the first time live and screaming because I was like, wait, this bitch is dead. What the actual fuck is going on?
I was so shocked. So fucking shocked. I was like, what in the world is going on? Isn't she supposed to be dead?
Surprise. And then she walks up to Klaus, and Klaus is just like crying.
The fear.
The tear, he's looking like a dejected, scared little kid again.
Yeah.
He has a tear coming down his mouth. His eye contact is way like on the floor. Like, it's so good. Joseph
Very
Morgan,
good.
you're so good.
Very good.
And she's like, do you know why I'm here? Look at me. Do you know why I'm here? And Klaus is like, well, you're here to kill me. And she's like, no, I'm here to forgive you.
And I was like,
and
what?
I want all of us to be a family again.
What?
Whoa! Alan Evans, you beautiful, amazing woman. I love you.
So many things are happening at once.
So many things are happening.
So yeah, Jordan, remember how last week I said the Elijah cliffhanger would be topped? This topped it for me.
Yeah, most definitely topped it.
And also just when she was like, "Look at me, Niklaus," I was like, "Oh shit."
I know.
She's like using his full name. It's like, "Oh shit."
You were like, oh fuck, okay, right, remember, you were like a Viking lady who did grow up in a very hard time, and so you were pretty fucking harsh. And she's just like, look at me. I'm like, okay, ma'am.
I'll look at you, ma'am.
Trauma, I got you. I will.
Oh, I am so happy that Esther is here. It just kind of feels like the family's complete now.
Yeah.
It just kind of feels like this is what we've been building towards.
Yeah, most definitely. And
it's so fun to see, like, this is what Klaus wanted. In a, not, I don't think in the way that he wanted. I don't think he wanted
Yeah.
Esther there, but like, this is what Klaus wanted. He wanted to be a family again. And so Esther, just this powerful matriarch of the Michelson family, is coming in and being like, fine, fuck it, let's do it, dude.
Yeah.
and it's so surprising.
Bonkers.
It really is.
It's bonkers.
Because I remember me and my friends, because I watched this with friends, like season 3 finally, because I actually had friends in high school. Oh my god.
Yay.
And we all watched Vampire Diaries. And we our
Fucking
big
losers.
theory, I know we were art kids in a technical high school, like drawing, like writing about vampires, but like we're so cool.
I say as we're running a Vampire
I
Diaries
know,
fan.
right?
Fucking
But our
nerds.
main theory was that there was another white oak stake in the coffin.
That
was like-
whole big ass coffin for one tiny steak.
We thought it was like how my friend put it. He said it was one big branch, and I was like,
Okay, you know what? That would actually kind of make sense. Continue.
It would make sense. But then but I think my friend said, well, what if it's like a dead family member? I was like, well, who else could it be? Everyone else is dead. Oh. And we were like, oh shit.
Just absolutely wild way to end this episode.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
It's so good.
So good. So hey Jordan,
Mm-hmm.
what are you ranking episode 313, Bringing Out the Dead?
Plot-wise,
Dead.
amazing. Okay? Love the familial... I can't speak. Love
Familial?
the familial themes, even though it hurt a lot. And I was like, that hit too close to home. Why
But also
did
it's
you do
very
that?
healing.
Yeah, yeah. So love that. The plot twist, 2 plot twists, by the way. Like 2. We have Esther coming back, but we also just have all of the Michelson siblings waking up. So good on that end, you know? And like overall, would give this episode a 10. But Bill. Bill is the thing that doesn't drag it down from a full like in my heart of hearts, if Bill was not in this episode, it would be just a 10, you know? As you can see by my notes, I really enjoyed this episode because when I enjoy an episode, I write a lot about it. But just Bill getting that plot line just didn't feel right.
Yeah.
And like some of the stuff he says just like is like inconsistent with who he is as a character. Like the whole stuff about like loving Caroline the way she is, when no you don't. Because if you did, you would have accepted her a long time ago, you know? So I think but I think that's not like a huge downfall of the episode. It just annoys me and bugs me a little bit. So then that makes me give it a 9.5.
9.5.
Yeah, maybe.
Really?
Can we go higher than half points?
I mean, like, yeah, if you want to go like a 0.75 or something like that.
Yeah, I want to do like a 0.75 because it's like a really, really good episode, and that building is just like a minor thing for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brian, what are you ranking it?
I'm gonna go a little bit less than Jordan.
Okay.
Feels kind of shocking. It's not that much lower, but I'm gonna go 9 purely
9.
because.
Okay.
Just knowing, because this would have been like a 9.5 if it wasn't for the bill of it all.
The bill of it all is going to be the title of this
brought it down
episode
for me, just because it's now that I know, like now that I understand fully, like what kind of an idiot he is and an asshole he is.
Yeah.
It brought it down for me, but I still like hold on true to that, like the words that they said about him, like losing your parent, all the things like that. And then also the goddamn plot twist at the end.
I know.
Like finally finding out what was in that goddamn coffin and actually it being something no one would expect. It literally came out of left field. Like, it just was perfectly done. And I don't know how no one could figure that out. Like,
Yeah,
that
that
it
was
was her.
wild.
And it's just, that's where I'm gonna go with it. And I'm staying solid on 9.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5. I feel like we're all pretty grouped up here because it was a very
Yeah.
good episode, and I just think again, it's just the Bill of it all, man. Just the
Yeah.
pure absolute hypocrisy of Bill, which I know may have been well intentioned or they may not have realized what they were doing, but also
Yeah.
you still did it, so I'm still gonna give you ding you 0.5 for that one. Hey gang,
Mm-hmm.
who's the MVP for this episode?
Oof.
Klaus.
Klaus?
Purely
I'm struggling, honestly.
just because of his reaction to seeing Esther.
Oh yeah, that was good.
That was very
You
good.
get to see the villain tuck
Cry.
his tail between his legs and be the scared little Viking boy that he hasn't been in over 1,000 years. Because for 1,000 years, he's been feared. He's been like the name that you don't want to hear. But the second you mention Esther, he's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am actually going to Elijah. I'd like to bring Elijah to the table because
Elijah can come to the table.
his dramatic ass thing with those daggers, king. He was putting on like a Vegas magic stage show, and I really loved it.
And
so my official vote is going to be for Elijah here.
And I was going to bring to the
Okay.
table Caroline.
Oh shit.
Okay. So we have these three at the table. They're all sitting here, and they're all very nice and lovely. Klaus. I liked Klaus's acting this episode, especially that last little bit. Right, it was very good.
But I don't think it was enough to like define the episode as much.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I feel like this episode was defined either by the moves that Elijah made or the emotion from Caroline.
Yeah.
I think
so. Of those two,
here's the thing with Elijah, right?
Mm-hmm.
He made great moves this episode, but it only really happened in the last half of the last half of the episode.
Well, he also had that thing with Damon in the beginning.
I guess.
That's true. But I do definitely see where you're coming from. I feel like Caroline's plot this episode was a much more through line.
Yeah, and it was way, definitely, very impactful to me.
Mm-hmm. Let's go Caroline.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Caroline because
Elijah's moves happened a lot off screen, whereas Caroline was just front and center this whole time.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Wonderful performance by Candace.
Well,
absolutely heartbreaking.
She did so great.
I'm gonna agree Caroline just because of the emotions I felt again. Oh,
so good. She's so good, and she had 2 sad scenes this episode.
She had too many.
Yeah, but the two
too many.
The two that stood out to me. I almost said standard.
Yeah, and those scenes I definitely still carry with me to this day.
Yeah, the two
it's one of those scenes. Yeah, that I.
It's like the scene with Elena and Matt hurt, and it was good. And then the scene with her dad, the last scene with her dad.
Oh,
yeah,
it was good.
It was just very good. Yeah. Just such a good performance, and one of those things that really stands out on just the Vampire Diary. It feels like a very Vampire Diaries sort of emotional scenes, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm changing my rating.
What are you giving it now?
I'm going 9.5.
9.5. Okay, gang.
Caroline fixed me. I'm like, wait a minute. Let me think about it. I'm going 9.5.
Yeah, I feel you, Brian. This is the closest we've all gone to a perfect episode without actually going 10s. So
if it wasn't for Bill, it would be 10s across the board.
If it was anybody other than Bill, or if Bill was a less shitty person,
10s across the board,
it would have been perfect. The perfect episode.
Yeah.
That's it for this week, y'all. Join us next week for episode 314, Dangerous Liaisons.
Ooh.
It's a humdinger of an episode, let me just tell you.
I can't wait.
Title as well.
Great title.
Ooh, yeah.
So we'll be back next week for that episode. It's gonna be a home run. Absolutely a great episode.
So good.
Until then, you can keep up with us on Twitter at AfterbitePod, or if you want to leave us a voice message, you can do so at anchor.fm/Afterbite. Or, I don't often say this at the end of the episodes, but if you have a hot take that you want us to read, you can just send it to our Curious Cat. I'm going to be tweeting that out again because we do still have that. So if you want to be anonymous and tell us that we suck, you can do that too.
Yeah, tell me I suck.
Let's do it, gang. Just roast the shit out of us,
I'm
bud.
ready to be roasted.
I'm so ready. But also, I feel like we're immune to roasting because we're like self-aware that we run a Vampire Diaries podcast,
Correct.
you know?
Yeah.
Like, nothing
Yeah.
can hurt us more than we hurt ourselves from running a Vampire Diaries podcast.
Like, you guys can try.
You can fucking try, dude.
But
I would love to see you try.
I think we're good.
I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Until then, y'all stay inside, stay safe, and wash your fucking hands.
Make sure you wear a mask.
I don't want to mess this up again.
You got this.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Defund the police.
Uh-huh.
As the first step to abolishing the
Abolishing the
police.
police. And, you know, more
Perfect.
restorative community-based justice. Let's go,
Right.
gang.
Exactly.
That's it.
Goodbye.